What's up, everybody? Cutroneo here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is my 10th video in my video progress series on Saudade No. 3 by Roland Dyens. So in the last video, I had talked about sort of my feeling of lack of productivity in my practice and sort of set aside and created a game plan, and I have to say that that game plan was really good. And I felt super productive today. And I think it shows a little bit in the playing. Yes, things are still not as consistent as I want them to be. But something interesting happened also in my first performance that you just saw. I felt, and this is kind of interesting, and I'm not sure right now how to feel about this in terms of what's going on. I'm not going to sort of overthink about it, but it's an interesting thing to point out. I'm feeling better about the first performance than I am about the second performance, which you'll see later on. I don't know if it's I feel fresh. I don't know if it's I feel more connected, but especially this past practice session. But this has happened a few days prior, where I felt that that my intention of playing was better in the first performance than it was in the second performance. And like I said, I'll just sort of keep an eye out for that and sort of think through that as it comes up. So just in general, I thought the piece held together more, especially in the A section, the first section. The second section still has its memory slips here and there, especially in the left-hand only section. But it's coming along relatively well. And the third section, in the first performance, obviously is still very unstable. So, from my practice, I focused on the things that I talked about yesterday on the first page, working on the lento section, counting it, and making sure it's coming out the way that I want it to. I only had, because 5 minutes, I was only able to really work on sort of the first two phrases of that section, which I thought worked out pretty well. And then I worked on the last lick at the end of the piece. That's still coming. Again, I nailed that at the beginning of the practice session, but you'll see in the video for my performance after practice wasn't as good as the first one. So those are some of the inconsistencies that right now I'm dealing with the piece. The second section, the dance section, left-hand slurs, working on just really accurately counting and making sure that some of these, the stretch with the first finger, that's a really hard. That's sort of the hardest part for me technically. I feel like I don't get the power in the slur that I do there. I just think that part of it is the hand balance. Still kind of working on that. Not too sure yet on how to really rectify that volume-wise. If perhaps just that first finger is going to be a little bit quieter and I really need to control the right hand. Not too sure. I can't really rebalance the hand because I'm holding onto these chords. Maybe I could revoice them, you know, if I'm here, but I need that open E too. So this is really the only place where I can play that. You know, that's really the only place that this chord can be played. And that has to be on the fourth string. So, you know, just there are no real alternative fingerings to that to really make that work. So that's something that I'll have to work out and be experimenting with and looking at. Still working on the memory of singing letter names. Today I did something a little different where I actually sang letter names with the metronome on with this section at 60. So I went, you know, phrase by phrase and was able to get the A section relatively good within those 5 minutes, so I'll just keep working on that. I spent 25 minutes total on the third section. I didn't learn anything new, but rather I just reinforced what I had been working on. And I know that I said that I was going to split up the piece, 10 minutes one area, 15 minutes another area. What I found instead that was a better usage of my time is that I spent 10 minutes counting the rhythms and going through all of the rhythmical changes. That seemed to be really, really useful for me. And then I spent 15 minutes singing letter names of the piece, going from the very beginning and going letter names throughout. I think the only part that I didn't get to letter names is this little section. That part. So I'm still working out that section. But I sort of jumped and went to here. Because that really was a spot that didn't gel and didn't really make a whole lot of sense yesterday when I had practiced it. So all in all, I felt that it was, the rut that I felt that I was in yesterday, by creating that practice plan and really having not only specific things to work on that I knew going into my practice that I was going to do, but also having specific time limits, really helped me stay on target, really helped me be just more efficient with my time because I knew that I had a certain time allotment with what I was doing. And it sort of restructured and refocused my practice. So here's the performance after my practice, the result of all of that good work, and I'll check back with you after. So that was the performance. Again, I'm sort of at this spot right now where I feel, and this, I haven't watched the videos yet to really analyze too well. I'm just going based off of what I remember from each performance and how I felt after each performance. The third section held together way better the second performance. Obviously, I worked on it after 2 days of work on it. That solidified itself way better than in the first performance. But I felt the first and second sections were actually better in the first performance. And that's just something, a consistency thing that I think is going to need to be worked out. I think part of that is just with the little amount of time that I'm giving right now to those sections. Again, sort of the primary focus is to get the whole thing going. And to have that at a certain level as we go through. So right now, goal-wise for tomorrow is, so right now I'm at the third line of the second page of the third section. That's a lot of crazy numbers. My goal is to, get two more lines going tomorrow. I might be able to do more, but definitely to have 2 more lines. There's this one section, as I'm already previewing it, that has sort of these thumb sweeps. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I remember seeing one recording that just sort of... I might experiment a little bit with that tomorrow, and actually spend some time experimenting between the two. Not to discount the thumb sweeps, but I think that, it's just this. I feel like I can control better right now, and this is me just sort of sight reading through that part. So we'll see what happens. Try and make a decision on that tomorrow. So I'm going to learn 2 more lines of this tomorrow. Again, my goal for the end of the week is, or the end of the practice week, is to have all of this up to the lento section on the third page learnt and memorized. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking over, and those 2 lines should be fairly simple to bring into playing at least. But again, memorization and everything like that. I'm going to try not to push forward and push more, but rather really solidify the 2 lines that I'm working on. So I'll probably only give 15 minutes to that tomorrow, and 10 minutes to continuing to refine the third section. For the first 2 sections, I'll continue on with the goals that I have. I'm not really going to change them. 5 minutes on the lento section in the first section, 5 minutes on the final lick, that part, 5 minutes on singing letter names of the dance section and counting, 5 minutes of working on the left hand alone melody, and just sort of exploring that. Like that second finger, I can just get so much more power out of it. So I've really got to do a little bit of just time working that balance. But I'm still also dealing with just not getting confused during that section. So I don't want to be distracted from that goal of really just being able to play that section cleanly. So that's sort of that primary goal, not really focused on the balance right now at the moment. So thanks for watching this video update. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell notification button so that way you get a notification every time I release a video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Again, feel free to comment, ask questions down below, and I will see you all in the next video.